Today we're going to be taking a look at the Dat Bike Quantum, a bike that's made in Ho Chi Minh and sold in Vietnam.
The Dat Bike Quantum comes in at an asking price of 49 million Vietnamese dong. In US dollars, that's about 2,000. And for 2,000 US dollars, it is a lot of value. You're getting a 6 kilowatt motor mid-mounted to a chain, as well as a 7 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery, and that is bottom mounted and not removable. Now, the rated range is 270 kilometers. That is a little bit giving, but in my own experience, it is between 200 and 240 kilometers, depending on how you drive. Now, there is a 41 liter trunk area, and that fits a lot. Here I have an entire backpack with my laptop and the charger and things like that, the Dat Bike charger, and I also have in here the official Dat Bike raincoat, which I will get back to a little bit later, as well as a skirt cover for my wife when she rides on the back. Now, the one thing that does bother me is that this pin here doesn't align very well. It's not a very firm hinge. I wish they would have improved upon that. And these little cubbies on the side here, they're nice, but they don't fit an entire phone and don't have any USB charging, so they're kind of pointless. I wish they would have been a little bit bigger. They do fit a nice pair of glasses or maybe a snack or something small. Here's the battery door here. This is another spot I would also prefer to improve upon. It's kind of flimsy, but the second one opens with a satisfying snap, and the charger is well made and fits in tightly. It is a 25 amp charger, 220 volts. You want to make sure that your outlet is rated for that though. And this is a very long charger, which makes charging a breeze. I don't have to be super close to any outlet. As long as I'm close enough, it does work. So I've ridden the bike for about 250 kilometers so far. This is my first charge at 194 kilometers after receiving the bike. The range is quite good, and that is a lot of mixed city driving. So, I mean, your results are going to vary, but this was a very spirited 194 kilometers. I definitely put the bike through its paces. So, starting the bike, you can connect to your phone via Bluetooth, and then it'll just start right up when you push the button. Or, alternatively, Dat Bike provides an RFID card, which you can just tap on the front of the bike after pressing the button, and it'll turn it on, and then turn it back off, doing the same thing. You can also use a combo of pressing the left and the right blinker while holding the brake to turn the bike off without the key. Overall, the manageability of the bike is really nice. The way that the handlebars sit in your hand feels really natural and really controllable. Some of the newer Honda motorcycles, they have a really big handlebar area, and it feels kind of uncomfortable, a little bit unwieldy. I have not run into the same experience here. The bike has a lot of torque. I've noticed that Dat Bike has likely tuned it so that most of that torque is available after you're at 20 kilometers per hour, which is great. There is a lot of going power, and there's also a lot of stopping power. I am really confident in my ability to go as well as to stop. One thing you will notice though while driving the bike is the noise that comes from the chain. It was quite noisy when we got it. I think that they could have lubed it a little bit better from the factory. But honestly, the silence of the bike makes it a bit of a hazard. We're going to have to start putting speakers or something on these bikes just to identify yourself to other people on the road, just so people know that you're coming. And another cool feature that these bikes have that you don't see very often is cruise control. So you go to the speed that you want to go, and you hold in this button on the right here for about 3 seconds, and it'll just peg you at that speed. The cruise control seems to work all the way up to the max speed, and you just tap that button again and it disengages it. However, it will engage the regenerative brakes, and that can be a little bit jarring. I feel like there's some tuning that could be done on Dat Bike side to improve that transition. But the feature itself is fantastic, and it makes cruising and long drives just that much better. There are 2 modes to choose from during driving, just regular drive mode, as well as a S Sport or Super mode. You can toggle between these by letting up off the accelerator and then pushing the button and then re-engaging the accelerator. And this bike actually also has a reverse gear, which is cool. So you hold the brake, double tap that function button, and you get R. However, it does not have enough torque to get out of like an angled area, but it is a cool feature to have, and I've never seen it before. The screen is really nice. However, there is a weird ghosting effect that happens when it turns on, but once it's on, it's super visible in the light and at night. I really have no complaints, a lot of information on it. I wish the trip meter did function like a normal car though, so I could reset it on my own to see how long I've gone on a specific charge or a specific trip. These headlights are fantastic. If you actually put your hand in front of the headlight, you can feel the heat coming off of it. I have no worries about being able to illuminate the road in front of me or being able to see what is on the side of the road. I do worry a little bit about anybody who might be looking directly into it. The marker lights on the side are actually really pleasantly positioned, and they don't stick out super far like a lot of bikes I've seen on the road. One thing that could use a little bit of improvement though is the horn. The horn is not very loud, and I'm not quite sure if that's just my model or if that's going to be across all the Dat Bike.
The Dat Bike Quantum is a fantastic bike, and I think it is the bike for Vietnam. While not being too new and not being too out of the box, it provides a lot of essential needs for the Vietnamese people, as well as being a cost-effective mode of transport. If there's any bike I would buy here, it would be this.
There is this feeling though that I get while wearing the Dat Bike raincoat. I just feel this weird kinship towards like delivery drivers or maybe people you might get a moped ride from. It is pretty slick though. I mean, I do like the vibe, and I get a lot of waves and smiles when I drive around. Also, I want to give a shout out to the customer service over at Dat Bike. They were incredibly accommodating, and they made everything really painless, as well as offering to get the bike registered for me, despite the fact that I am not a Vietnamese citizen. They would actually take care of all of that paperwork for me. They replied to me on nights and weekends. It was really just a fantastic experience.
That being said, it isn't without error. There are definitely things that they can improve upon, but I have faith that they will continue to make improvements on the bike, and it will get better and better. And if not, I'm sure the Vietnamese people will figure out how to make those improvements themselves. With that being said, VinFast. It's time to catch up.
And I don't mean that to dump on VinFast. This is a bike that is its own in its league. There is nothing like it, and this is a bike for the people. I do truly hope that Dat Bike keeps making bangers like this. Thanks for watching my review. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks.